Shalom, shalom, welcome, welcome. I'm Viyahta, your holistic life coach, and I'm here in my tiny house village. Welcome, welcome. And I have an introduction music I'll play at the end to just give you some visual on what I've been doing for the last 5 or 6, 7, 8 years is building a tiny house village in my own backyard. So I'm here to share some insights on the global news about a young lady, 25-year-old hairstylist, who has gotten the attention of the world. And in my journey, I'm always looking for lessons for news items like this that get the world's attention. And I'm always looking for the bigger message, the spiritual message for something like this. So, again, I'm a certified holistic life coach. I'm a doula. I'm a yogi. I do yoga classes out here. And right behind me is a hibiscus tree. This is the only plant that survived my gardening this year, planting and growing things. And this beautiful plant with the flowers, hibiscus plants, is the only thing that survived. So it says a lot to me about my priorities in that I can take those hibiscus flowers, dry them out, make tea, and they're very healing. So, my update today on Shanquella Robinson, I hope will be very healing for all of you who listen. Now, one of the reasons it got my interest because her last name Robinson happens to be my last name as well. But other than that, there's just been so many events in the news that led up to this global story that made me think about the spiritual message and the lessons for all of us about Shanquella Robinson. Now, we've all, if you pay attention to news, you've all heard about Ye, or AKA Kanye West, and all the adventures of Kanye West and what he's been doing. And then Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving steps in with a story about something he posted, Hebrews to Negroes, and then he donates $65,000 to the GoFundMe page of Shanquella Robinson. I'm like, okay, what is all the connection with this? There's something going on here spiritually in my mind. That's the way I think, because we're all living in a world that is only about 10% reality. It's the invisible, in my experience, that is our reality. So the spiritual lessons that we can learn from Shanquella, first of all, are obvious in all the pictures that we've seen about this beautiful young lady. Now, there's not been a lot of talk about why she had so much money. She became, I believe, fairly well off from what I understand from the news. There's been a lot of information out there, but Shanquella had money. There's now news about the doctor, the people stole money from her at the hotel and all this. But let me first say, my prayers and sympathy go out to her family, because this type of sudden death is always shocking and very stressful for a family. So my heart goes out to you. But all the news items that we are seeing about her is just stirring up in me a bigger lesson. First of all, Kyrie Irving was suspended for sharing a tweet about a movie, a documentary, a book, Hebrews to Negroes. Well, I've walked in this journey as a Hebrew Israelite. I'm now in my 60s. So I'm a senior citizen. I'm a baby boomer. I was a Black Panther back in the 60s. I've done it all. So I walked as a Hebrew Israelite. So I know all about the book Hebrews to Negroes. In fact, I was at a friend's house a couple of weeks ago and he had the book and I was going through it and reading it, and excellent research. That's all I'm going to say about that. Excellent research. So my walk as a Hebrew Israelite taught me some valuable things about myself, my culture, the race of Hebrews versus Jewish people. All of that was in my journey, learning about myself. And one of the things that we are missing about Shanquella Robinson, How did she gain her wealth? She's a hairstylist. If you look at the picture that's been going around the internet and the social media, it's all about hair, her hair. Her hair stood out first and foremost in this beautiful picture of this long, silky hair flowing down both sides of her chest, covering her breasts, and then this beautifully made up face, eyebrows, eyelashes, more eyelashes. So when you look at that picture from a Hebrew Israelite perspective, I ask, where's her protection? Because when you've been a Hebrew Israelite, one of the things you learn about is these swirly things called hair, these wires, these antennas. This is living elements here. They are alive. This hair is alive. And we learn as a Hebrew Israelite how these are antennas. These antennas, what do we need antennas for? Cosmic connection, protection, all of that. This hair is meant to protect all these uh, melanin rich people who happen to have lots of curly hair, and it comes in degrees. You're not going to find every melanin person with tight curls like this. Some of them are loose, some of them are tighter. There are actually degrees of hair, curly hair, that you can research how to take care of it. So, my journey as a Hebrew Israelite, which reminded me of Shanquella and her hairstylist business, is that where was her protection? The tragedy of this story is that there were so many people around her who were hateful, who were violent, jealous. Mental illness is what I call it at this point. I think we can all agree that the people who treated her violently in those videos that we've all seen were just hateful and had mental illness. Who else treats someone like that with all that hate and not love? So, in my journey as a Hebrew Israelite, which connects to Kyrie Irving and his revelation or revealing of the whole documentary that explains all of this and why we do this, brings Shanquella's situation to mind. So lots of hair was in her picture, nice silky straight hair, which wasn't her hair. We know that. I'm sure it wasn't her hair. Nope. Wigs galore and pictures, and all the women appear to have the same uh, hairdressing, somebody else's hair on their head, which means mental illness could develop, no protection. So her success, Shanquella's success, I think I can honestly say was based on her hairstylist business. She was braiding hair, I think, doing hair. That's what, because why? Because the hair business is $1 billion industry. Yes. And most melanin people are putting a lot of money into the hair business. Now, this is a sensitive subject, especially among melanin people, because lots of people are wearing wigs these days and hair, and they have made these wigs to look so much like your real hair, the part in the middle that matches your skin. They've done a lot of work. I have to admire the industry. They've created some of the best hair products you could ever want. So Shanquella was very successful because she did that type of work, hairstylist. And it was obvious in her picture that was spread all around the world that she was wearing her hair, her business. She's wearing her business. So if we link between black hair care and breast cancer, maybe we might get a little concerned about wearing all that idolized hair. And I say idolized hair because Chris Rock did a movie years ago, I think it was called Good Hair in 2009, that demonstrated that most of that hair comes from India or Brazil or some other country, where in India especially they cut their hair off and sacrifice it to a deity. Now, if you're not into spiritual things and energy, you might think, well, what's wrong with that? It's just hair. Energy, honey. Energy attaches to things when you affirm things, when you have ceremonies, when you put out a message to the deities that you're giving this hair to your God, your deity, that energy stays with that material substance. And I think the problem we have in general in the melanin community is that people are not aware of the energy and the spirits that are attached to all this hair that's being put on their head. Do you know where your hair comes from? That might be the question. Where does your hair come from? So, why didn't Shanquella have the discernment to see that these people surrounding her might do her harm? Well, one thing was the money issue. Chasing money, people chasing money act foolishly, right? Instead of doing a job that says, I want to just help millions of people, I don't really care about the money, I just want to help people. That's the type of mind and thought that will attract money anyway. But if you're chasing the money first, doesn't end too well, as Shanquella and her friends demonstrated. Friends are subject to turn on you like a dime, right? So when you have discernment, and by the way, as a holistic life coach and one who has studied holistic things for years, everything inside this body has discernment. All the cells in our body have discernment. The discernment was created in us when we were in the womb. So when we look at this hibiscus tree back here that has these beautiful red fruits, that's discernment. Who created that? Creator, energy, life. Those fruits will bring life, especially to the first, second chakra, which is a red color. So the discernment is in our body. So when you have women who are concentrating on the external beauty instead of meditating and going in and developing the internal wisdom and discernment, this is what happens with Shanquella Robinson types. They attract friends who are not really friends, right? They're enemies, but you didn't see it because the external efforts to look beautiful and to shine and to make money are there instead of meditation. Let me go in and develop my discernment. And a lot of these women out here who are so insecure about these curls here, they don't have the discernment to know you reap what you sow, honey. You're not going to get away with this. Even if the police don't catch up with these evil people, murdering, violent people, guess what? Universal energy, nobody gets away with anything. That's what's missing in this community of melanin people who think they can harm someone and leave them for dead and then fly off somewhere and escape. You're not going to escape. That's the wisdom that you're missing. You would never have done such a thing like this if you had wisdom and discernment, which is in here. It's all here. So, protection, angels. You have angels. I have angels around me all the time. How do I know? I feel them, I see them, I know them because my lifestyle attracts angels. You're not going to attract angels and the Creator's loving, compassionate energy if you're focusing on the external things of life: money, beauty, hair, eyelashes, lipstick. And, it seems like everybody, oh, not everyone, but it seems like many women are trying to look like Kim Kardashian. She's in the news a lot right now, too. So I pay attention to the news because I do 2 blog talk shows a week and I listen to what people are talking about and what they're concerned about. And so when I see melanin women with blonde hair, blonde wigs even, and long straight hair, they're trying to imitate or be like Kim Kardashian. Then when I see them in the tight clothes and they're trying to look like Kim Kardashian. More power to you, but the reality is there's no power in that. You're not going to be protected when you're trying to imitate a movie star or a social media presence instead of going within and meditating. So the message for my melanin family, I would say. They're not all of them are my brothers and sisters, because when you have mental illnesses like that, I just pray. I send love and light to people. I try not to judge people anymore. I just sing love and light when I see people with wigs on all the time and they're everywhere. People, this hair is not easy to manage. That's why a lot of black men shaving their hair and they're bald. It's not easy to manage these curls. But I'm telling you, these curls are like antennas of protection and power and discernment. You're going to recognize the not so good friends around you if your curls are out. And I admit I sometimes I do cover my hair when I don't want to manage it for the day. But I will never ever ever put on one of these wigs that they're wearing, because that's I need protection. These days we're in a spiritual warfare. If you haven't noticed, the government's trying to reduce the population, wink wink, and the medical system is trying to keep you sick so they can push their drugs. So this is a spiritual battle. It's not, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, the scripture says, but against principalities, wicked beings in wicked places. And so for women, melanin women, to attack another melanin woman says there's a spiritual, demonic energy in their head, in their around them. And there was no protection for Shanquella because she was focused on external beauty, making money. And rest in peace. She is a good teacher now. Let us learn the lessons from this whole Shanquella thing. And the fact that Kyrie Irving donated $65,000. I don't know why, but that's what he felt led to do. He's a millionaire. He can do that. But that's a sign for us to pay attention to what Kyrie Irving is putting out as a teacher as well. When you go from Hebrew to Negroes, you fall down in your frequency, is what that message is saying on one level. Hebrews to Negroes, lower frequency. Negroes have lower frequency. The Hebrew Israelites are more conscious community. They're conscious about how their hair is not covered with wigs. The Hebrew community is more conscious about what they put on their body. And most of them, the Hebrew Israelites, I'm talking about melanin Hebrews, are more conscious about what comes out of their mouth and how they spend their time. They're not spending their time in front of movies. Most of us conscious ones now. You got unconscious and conscious Hebrew Israelites, I'm sure. But the majority of people who walk the Hebrew Israelite life are more conscious about the time they spend filling their mind with positive information, healing information, and protection. So I want to just leave you this message that my friend Ralph Smart, who has a YouTube channel, Infinite Waters. He's been giving a lot of very powerful messages lately, and he did one on Shanquelle as well. The message is raise your frequency. This wig business is not going to raise your frequency. It's a $1 billion industry. Hair, which Shanquella was part of that industry. That's how she made a lot of money. And as melanin people, it's important, if you want to protect your melanin energy, body, raising your frequency means essential oils. It means crystals. I have several crystals that I wear throughout the year, a day. Um, and it means to stop chasing money. Because if you have the intention of helping people, serving people, and you put that out there in the cosmic universe energy, if you have the intention to serve and help people, money will come to you. The universe will give you exactly what you need if, first and foremost, your intention is to help and serve people. You don't have to chase money. And ask how you can serve people. And the number one way to help our communities, our melanin communities, is love yourself first. Because as Kanye said once, hurt people hurt other people. There was some really hurting, painful people in those rooms beating up on Shanquella. We all been shaking our heads like, how could this happen? How could people be so hateful and violent? Hair. That's the message today, is be careful whose hair you're putting on your head. And remember that these strands are living antennas. These strands, curly strands that are especially designate melanin DNA, African DNA. When you have all this curly hair, you can be sure that person has some African DNA, because that's what comes from Africa, curly hair. And we've got a lot of mixed children who are still wearing that curly hair, is just a lot softer. My message to you is fly. First, love yourself and stop. Please stop focusing on the external things that can make you beautiful and go inside. Meditation is key, affirmations are key. And I'm going to put in the comment section, I'm going to put below some links to other YouTube video personalities talking about the hair, the hazards that come with wearing weaves and wigs and other people's hair. We don't think about that, but there are hazards. One of the, I'm going to put in the link below, this link to the study that says black hair products are linked to breast cancer. Well, how would that be? Because nurturing yourself has to do with breast cancer. Breast cancer develops, from my experience, when you're not nurturing yourself and you're grieving and sad over events that come that interfere with your nurturing yourself. The parents of Shanquella, the mother, could develop breast cancer after this occurrence, because the grief will come to her and the nurturing part is broken because her daughter is gone. And we want to hopefully prevent more of these things happening, but we got to make choices, different choices, in order for these things to stop. Melanin people killing other melanin people. That is why I have to admit, that's why the t-shirt White Lives Matter is relevant. Black people are not showing that their lives matter. Too much violence in the melanin community that says, no, black lives don't matter. Stop that. White lives matter. Obviously, you're following Kim Kardashian and all these other Hollywood stars trying to look like them. Obviously, they matter more than protecting the lives of your melanin sisters. That's what we have to think about, is protecting the life of all of our sisters. Let's build a sisterhood of all women. And that's what the message is of the hibiscus fruit. It's a pussy. Yeah, I said that. The hibiscus fruit, if you look at it, it opens up just like a pussy. And that's what it represents, the female yoni. It's a female yoni back there on the branch. Can we mimic the sacredness and beauty of the hibiscus and become sisters who love one another and don't hate on each other? That's my prayer. And that's my desire for all of you watching, that you would spread this message to remind us of the lack of protection when you are focusing on external things, and the harm that you're doing to your own body and soul when you're taking on other hair from other countries, other people who are making sacrifices to their deities. We just saw it with the Shanquella Robinson that has still continuing. That was a sacrifice of sorts. Why? Hair. Think about the hair. There's a message in that. So let us press on loving ourselves. Fly, fly. First, love yourself. And then maybe we'll stop harming our sisters. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in Florida. This is the perfect season in Florida. Even though today is unusually hot, I love it. I can be outside and get lots of sun. That's what's lacking too. More sun, more sun. Mwah. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to try and play my, I'm going to play my Let's see. No, let me see. I want to play my tiny house village um, audio. That's why I'm here. Here we go. Everybody have a great day, and I'm going to go out with a beautiful video I made. I think it's not on tiny house living. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help spread the message of minimalism and flying. First, love yourself. Love you. Shalom, aho.